Hello and welcome back to Sonny Talk Spurs, and today I'm going to be telling you why Micky van der Ven is a world-class defender. But before we get into this, if you are new to the channel, leave a like on the video, subscribe to Sonny Talk Spurs and hit that notification bell because it lets you know when I've gone live. Now, let's get into it. So I wanted to do this video pretty much after the Luton game, but I held off a little bit because obviously Micky van der Ven was called up to the Netherlands side for his international debut. You know, 22 years old, a massive achievement playing for, a Dutch side. The Netherlands are a massive team when it comes to European football. And we saw, obviously they lost to France and they won their other fixture. But against France especially as well, absolutely phenomenal. There was a clip where he beats Malo Gusto of Chelsea for pace, and it's just mesmerising. He is an unreal defender. So after following this as well, I've come to the conclusion that Micky van der Ven is already, at 22 years old, a world-class defender. And first of all, going back to when we signed him originally, obviously there was a lot of panic at Tottenham Hotspur from the fan base. We really needed to sign a defender, and we were being linked with him for ages. It felt like it went on for weeks and weeks and weeks. We were linked with him, obviously from Wolfsburg, and we were linked with Edmund Tapsoba from Leverkusen. And I, for one, was an advocate for Micky van der Ven because of his versatility. He could also play left back as well, left-footed. We have been crying out for a left-footed centre-back for ages. We didn't get one under Conte, and we've been crying out for new centre backs. For years now. We've been sick of Eric Dyer. We were sick of Davison Sanchez. We needed some fresh blood, and Micky van der Ven has been phenomenal. He has hit the ground running. He is a fantastic defender. And first of all, I want to pull up his stats from the Luton game, and I know what people are going to say. It's Luton, but he really had a man-of-the-match performance for us against that team. Considering we had 10 men as well at the time. So his stats are on screen right now. 90 minutes played, 94% pass accuracy, 78 touches, 1 goal, 1 shot on target, 2 tackles. He knows when he needs to tackle. He's really comfortable receiving the ball as well. He has, that sort of trifecta of him, Romero and Bissouma, playing that ball around, trying to break down opposition teams and sort of work something, especially Vicario as well behind them. That trifecta as well. It's like 2 trifectas in one. They are really, creating triangles and avenues to get out of players' press. And, a pass accuracy of 94%, considering he is having a lot of the ball in the team, is also really, really impressive. He is just so comfortable. He really helps Romero. I think that's also key as well, how he has helped Romero in this side. And, Romero is being less rash. He has formed a partnership so quick as well. I always think, when it comes to centre-back partnerships, you have one who's a bit of head and shoulders above the rest because he's sort of either, sometimes he could be the captain or he is like the more senior player. But with these two, they are quite a similar level and they both complement each other. Micky van der Ven has his pace, Romero has a bit more strength. I just find it really, really impressive. And, this game against Luton, the goal, the cleverness of opening his body up and slotting in the goal as well was very, very good. And at the weekend, actually, I had a conversation with my own dad, who's a Tottenham fan, about Micky van der Ven. And we kept bringing up the Vertonghen comparison. There seems to be a lot of people drawing comparisons with Vertonghen, that sort of, Dutch football sort of link. They're not obviously, one's Belgian, one's from the Netherlands, bit different, and, he obviously didn't come through Ajax either, but they seem to be drawing a lot of comparisons just because of their stature and the way they play and the left-back sort of versatility. But my dad said that he thinks van der Ven is better than Vertonghen, so that's quite controversial. Let me know your opinions of that in the comments down below. But I think I know what he means, probably more comfortable on the ball. He's quicker. It'd be interesting to see how them two would play in a back four. I think that would be a quite good spectacle indeed. But yeah, Micky van der Ven, I'm just really happy. And after, his performances against, Arsenal and Liverpool. In the thumbnail, I've used the image on Eddie Nketiah. He has done those sort of byline sort of tackles where he takes someone, that is quite a good thing about defending. It's quite a basic thing. rule one of defending is keep them away from your goal. And he sort of takes them down the channel. He's done it with Salah, he's done it with Nketiah, and just absolutely gone through them with the perfect tackle. And it's just, you know, he's quite old-fashioned, actually, the way he sort of holds himself and his stature. He gives me a sort of, like, old-school centre-back vibe with that modern twist of playing out from the back, which I really, really like. And for 22 years old, I just don't know how we pulled this off. We paid about, and I'm going to have to check this on my screen. I've got it on here. We paid 50 million euros for Micky van de Ven at 22 years of age. 5-year contract. He is a player for the future. I can't believe we beat so many teams to him. I'm surprised there weren't many teams not in for him. You know, I look at some teams around. I'm thinking, would he start for Arsenal? Maybe over Gabriel. Complement Saliba quite nicely. Maybe not Man City, but, you know, he could sort of maybe work his way in. I'm thinking, you know, Gvardiol, I know a generational talent, but he costs 90 million euros. And, you know, maybe in the long term, Gvardiol is going to be the better player. But for the price, you'd think Van de Ven would be perfect. He'd definitely start for United. I think he'd also start for Liverpool as well. And Chelsea, I think he'd get in their team. So, you know, the fact that we maybe I'm not saying beat these teams, but, you know, we signed him where others could have maybe gone in for him. I find that really impressive. And we're reaping the benefits. I love a Dutchman as well. I was a massive fan of Van der Vaart, the same initials as Van de Ven. So, yeah, all aboard the Dutch steam train. But now I'm going to look at some of his FB Rev stats from the last year and sort of, you know, get to sort of see who this player is and who he could evolve into in this team. So his FB Rev stats are on screen now, and I want to look at that middle section. You know, his pass completion is at 89.7%. His progressive passes, 3.45 per 90. Progressive carries, 1.26 per 90. Touches, 0.61. You know, successful take-on, 0.68. Progressive passes received, 0.71. So he is showing, like, he is that modern centre-back of being able to play out. And I think that's, you know, at the end of the day, he is the perfect Ange centre-back. You know, all these players have got to be versatile and comfortable with the ball at their feet. And what's good on that left-hand side is we've obviously seen that Destiny Udogie will bomb on. He'll invert into that left midfielder slot. So Van de Ven needs that pace to sort of recover and really mop up at the back. The worrying thing is that, and I say this about most of our starting lineup, is these players are so integral. What happens if one of them gets an injury? That's what worries me the whole of this season, because I feel like our starting lineup is incredible now and it's really good to see. But what worries me is where this sort of goes after this. But less about that. It is good to see because, you know, last season when we were playing the three at the back, we sort of like our left footer was Longley and it just didn't work out. You know, Longley, he was sort of a middle of the row sort of centre back, but he just was not good enough. And Van de Ven, he is, as I say, he's clicked in with the team. He's really working well with Vicario, with Romero, with Porro, with Destiny Udogie, Bissouma, everyone in front of him. And it's just good to see. And, you know, as the season goes on, he's going to have massive tests. He's got to face the likes of Haaland. He's got to face, as I say again, Saka and Salah and, you know, Chelsea's front line, all these big teams, Brighton, you know, all these teams are going to give him the runaround. And he's just got to show more great leadership. There's just so many good leaders and examples in this team now. You know, people really setting the agenda for Tottenham, and it's just fantastic to see. I think he has been an absolute star signing already, and I just can't believe he plays for our club. I'm just so baffled that we were able to convince him. But yeah, and he's also showed a good side. You know, some of his interviews he's done, he did that Spurs have this new series where they do like it's not carpool karaoke, but they're sort of talking on the way home from training. And he seems so much older. I don't know if it's like this Dutch mentality, because I remember Matthijs de Ligt was like that at Ajax. These players just, for 22 years old, he speaks with so much grandeur, and he is just, you know, a wiser head on younger shoulders. But it's just really good to see. Very happy for him to be playing for the Netherlands now. They've got an amazing centre-back for years to come. You know, in a team that needs a bit more youth rejuvenation, it will be great to see. And I can't wait to follow his, you know, his career over club and country. It's going to be very, very exciting indeed. But that's why I think he's world class. I don't see many other centre-backs, you know, his age doing what he's doing. You know, there's the current conversations about Saliba, about Gvardiol, you know, to pick a few and a couple. But is he on their level yet? I mean, Gvardiol, has he proven maybe a bit more with Leipzig? Maybe at City, it's not really started yet. You know, he's been deep in tournaments with Croatia. Saliba has had a good, you know, couple of years at Arsenal as well. But Van de Ven, I think if he carries on in his current trajectory, why can't he be in that conversation? I think he is showing world-class capabilities at such a young age. Whereas I say, a modern centre-back, like most players, has got to do it all. Passing, tackling, you know, strength. You know, he is showing everything, and he's just really good. And I've never seen a player, you know, he's so quick at making a tackle and jumping straight back up. And that's just, you know, it seems quite basic, but for a modern defender who, as I say, has got to do everything, he is just spellbinding. And I think he's world class. He has to be world class, surely. Next to Romero, who is also a World Cup winner as well. What a partnership for the future of the Premier League. But let me know in the comments down below, what do you think of Micky van de Ven as a signing? Do you think he's fantastic? I'm sure you do. Do you think he's world class, or do you think he's still got a few things to prove as the season goes on? And as I said at the beginning of the video, if you are new around here, please leave a like on it, subscribe to Sonny Talks Spurs, and hit that notification bell because it lets you know when I've gone live. And as I say, I've been Sonny, and I'll see you again pretty soon, and a ciao.